A dress code for schools is well entrenched in India, but a dress code for clubs, well, on the face of it, few object. The problem comes when a regular member just walks in with guests and has to face the embarrassment of being denied entry because of not being appropriately dressed. Well, dress codes in clubs has become a raging controversy, especially when politicians, artists or guests are not welcome wearing kurta pajamas. Last week, the century-old Calcutta Club, one of Kolkata's elite institutions, denied entry to a painter because he was wearing a kurta pajama. He had gone to the club at the invitation of former ace footballer Chunni Goswami. On Monday, Suva Prasanna and other intellectuals protested against the club's stand, saying it was time for Calcutta Club to get rid of its colonial hangover. But that is Kolkata. What about in our own part of the world? Take Chandigarh for example. In most of these clubs, you cannot enter wearing a kurta pajama either unless it's not accompanied with a jacket. Most clubs expect you to wear formal shirts or t-shirts, trousers and shoes, or in traditional Indian apparel like sherwani churidar. Casual wear like collarless t-shirts, tracksuits, shorts, sandals or kurta pajamas are not allowed. Dressing Indian is definitely not acceptable, and most clubs have ruled out the possibility of relaxing the dress code. What these clubs seem to forget is that India's tropical climate is hardly suitable for coats and ties and shoes. There was a time when Indians did not fit the bill to enter prestigious clubs, but the British Raj is long gone. Today, Indians, but naturally, are allowed, but only those of a certain class and background. So is the dress code at clubs a colonial hangover or a social label you are supposed to wear since you are a member of the club and hence stand out? Well, exactly. What is this fascination for having club members sporting ties and not shorts? Is this more to do with the social label? Does a man in a suit behave less rudely than one in tees? And to discuss this, we have in our studios Brigadier D.S. Dhillon, he's a member of the Chandigarh Golf Club, Khushwant Ahluwalia, an author, Supreet Dhiman, the founder of CATS, and Paramjeet Singh, a web designer and a member of Chandigarh Club. Well, thank you all for being with us in the studio. And Brigadier Dhillon, if I do begin with you, can you tell us why are we so stringent on dress code?
You know, first, the one that you played initially about the Calcutta Club, I must tell you, it actually was a follow-up of the Bengal Club. Bengal Club was only open to the Britishers, and it was the Maharaja of Cooch Behar who was made the president of the Calcutta Club, which became available to the Indians. Now, that is the club that is there in news today, where they did not allow the painter who was not wearing a shirt or a trouser properly.
Right.
Coming back to our own environment here in Chandigarh Golf Club, you see, all these clubs are basically societies.
Right.
They are covered by rules and regulations, and it's a body of people who are together and they work out what is the best dress code that they require for that.
So what exactly is the best dress code?
The best dress code is that without hurting the sentiments of others, you are dressed in such a manner that you can socially interact with each other.
All right. No, but you know, you do have those rules, you do have reservations if a person is not dressed according to the decorum or according to the rules set by the club, then they're not allowed to come in. For example, if you're wearing a tracksuit, now I don't know whether it's socially accepted or not, if you're wearing that, or if you're wearing shorts for that matter, you're not allowed to enter.
Well, I can tell you on the golf course, you can't play wearing a tracksuit.
Yes.
And as far as the t-shirts go, there again there is a specification, and I can share with you that here in Chandigarh Golf Club, I was also turned away once because I was wearing a shirt which was tucked in, and the gentleman at the starter interpreted my shirt as being different from a t-shirt.
Right.
Till later on it has been now clarified that a shirt which has a collar and tucked in is equally good. The point is that any club that is a society that makes its rules and regulations must implement them. It hurt me quite a bit. It had to be then brought to the committee's notice that they needed a relook on it. So the point is that if a club or an association has to work efficiently, they've got to go by rules and regulations. And if you invite a visitor who doesn't want to wear trousers, then you should not have invited him in the first place.
Let me move on. Khushwant, what would you say? How important is decorum?
I think it's very important. Decorum is important, except that what needs to be done is that we need to open up much more in terms of what dress codes are today. I mean, today we have I mean, in the sense that there are different dress codes for different kind of people in professions. I mean, how does someone in a trouser or a shirt, I mean, how is he more clubbable than an artist? I mean, I can tell you instances in golf club where people wearing the right dresses after getting drunk have broken bottles.
Yeah.
So but yes, you need a decorum, because after all you have to look presentable. I mean, you just can't walk in your night suit and say this is kurta pajama, my traditional dress. That is utter nonsense. So from that point of view, yes, you need, but you need to kind of be more inclusive now. I mean, in the sense,
you've traveled a lot, you've been to lots of clubs. Most of the clubs do have rights over what you wear and how you walk in. Is that important?
Yes, I think it helps in a way, because clubs kind of use dress code as a way of wanting a certain kind of people, because it kind of helps them stream, so which is fair enough. I mean, I've been stopped because I wasn't wearing shoes with laces. So I mean, I didn't object. I mean, that's all right, because I think it's the rule of that club, and they maintain it, so which is fine. I have no problems with that. But
Supreet, what are your views? Do you think we're going overboard with too many rules? Rules are now ruling over us, so to speak. I mean, we made those rules, and now suddenly we let the rules overrule us.
I certainly believe so, because life is, we only get one life. We only have certain number of years and months and weeks to live. We don't know when the guillotine is going to come down. And why not enjoy life without actually hurting anyone? I'll give you an example. As you said, nobody will be allowed to wear a kurta pajama in the golf club. We went trekking to Kasoli Club with their permission from the board. We were told clearly that we have to wear, when we enter the club, we have to be wearing the collared t-shirts, and we have to wear full length bottoms, whatever we are wearing, trousers or even track pants, but they had to be full length. All of us, I think we were 32 of us in that trip. We had trekked from Jabli up till Kasoli. It was September, so it was hot. The food was nice. We had maintained the decorum. We don't have a problem in the group that we have cats. We had everybody, right from a 6-year-old to, I think the eldest in that trip happened to be about 52. We had forest officers, we had bankers, we had children, we had people from all walks of life. But complete decorum was maintained. But when but members objected. Visitors who were there, who were members there, who had done a lunch with us, they objected as to why this happy-go-lucky sort of people have come in and taken up the terrace where they perhaps wanted to sit, or have taken up room on the swing they had. So
no, you were thrown out?
No, we were not thrown out, but we were not invited the next year.
All right.
When I called them up to see if we could come around, they said no, the members had objected the previous year, though I have no complaints, you followed all the rules. But even if you follow the rules, we are still not good enough, because we are on the other side of the fence.
But about the Kasoli Club, I've heard this kind of an experience from others too, that they don't seem to have a little stuck-up attitude.
Oh, they're very particular.
But I'm not a member there, so I am only talking hearsay, so forgive me for it.
But I think it's also
no, we're talking about clubs per se.
It's also subject to interpretation. I mean, it's not clubs. I mean, it's like people at religious places. People are interpreting the different things differently. I know of an Australian woman who had a bandaged leg, and she was sent back from the Golden Temple because they said you can only walk in bare feet. I mean, that's ridiculous. So at all places there are these rules playing at some level.
And I think I'll agree to that also, having had personal experience of having been turned away, thrown out being a harsher term to use on TV, I guess, turned away from a Gurdwara in Mohali because I was wearing a long skirt. And but at the same time, I'll say, at the Gurdwara in Leh, I was wholeheartedly accepted, even though I was wearing a short skirt. I remember I had gone there with 3 of my fellow cats, and the boys, I told them, you go in, I shouldn't go because I'm wearing a short skirt. But the clergymen, they came up and they said, Beta, why are you standing there?
Also at a lot of
and I told them I'm not appropriately dressed for the Gurdwara, and they said, nothing doing, you're coming in.
Yeah. You know, a religious place, I would say, would be available for everybody. But let's just get back to clubs. Paramjit, would you say that it's a private club and they have their rules, so we have to abide by it?
Oh, well, in terms of private club, yes, if it's a private club, the owner has the right to whom he lets in and what's the dress code. But in terms of public places and community clubs or societies, I believe dress codes are more to have a pleasant environment and have an air of decency, where, as Mr. Dhillon said, that we can interact nicely with each other. So we don't actually have to be so rigid about, yes, I mean, if somebody is roaming around in shorts and tees, yes, that maybe may not be appropriate.
How do you say it's not appropriate?
In terms of a public place, and I also believe that if any respectable, decent person would make sure they are dressed appropriately for a certain occasion or a place, and I think we are too rigid about the dress codes, as I believe, as far as it is nothing vulgar or it is not creating any indecency, or that the decorum is maintained.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be any, and I agree with Kushwan that we need to expand. I mean, if somebody is wearing a traditional dress, we wear traditional dresses to our all the occasions. We wear it to weddings. We wear it to so many other places. So why not in clubs?
Yeah.
So
but being a private club, like I just asked, being a private club, they feel that they have the right to lay down certain rules, and then you have to abide by that.
Yes, I think in a private club, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
No, A is abiding by them, but B is that should they have those rules or not? In the sense that should they be more flexible, and should they define?
Because the members are going to decide whether they.
No, that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is that the enforcement should be there, but there should be less rigidity.
Right.
When you are this thing, because we've become such a cosmopolitan society today. I mean, I'm a writer today. If my fine, well-ironed kurta pajama is going to decide whether I'm clubbable or not, I mean, this is really ridiculous.
Right. Right.
And I believe, secondly, when we talk about clubs, it's a place of recreation. We go there for leisure, to relax, chill out. And if you really have to be dressed so formally and be so particular about our dress, and it takes that little away from the relaxation and
quite a bit away.
factor we are looking forward to.
Right.
If you see the functions in some of these clubs,